Hey guys, welcome to this week's Meet the Collection. I've talked about this snake before, and I think she was in a video at one point, but she hasn't been in a Meet the Collection video. This female right here is an Ultra, and this is the girl, for those of you that watched the videos I did down at Josh's place, this is the girl that Josh produced. The Ultras that are in that video are the parents to this animal. She is absolutely fantastic. This is not the best lighting to show her off, but I think it's pretty clear that she's pretty nice. She looks pretty similar on camera probably to the Blue Ghost male that I showed off. The biggest difference being, if you look at her, she's got a very tan head, whereas that animal has the blue head. Body-wise, though, they're not that far off in color. She's a really, really cool Ultra, which is why I got her as a baby. Hopefully next year I'll have her ready to breed. She's too small right now. Age-wise, she could probably go, but she's not ready, so it doesn't matter. Maturity matters over age. She is technically a 2016 animal, I believe. And I don't remember when in 2016 she hatched. But she's fantastic. She eats great. She has a very strong food response. Actually, I'm actually cleaning the rack that she's in right now. And I just thought to myself, I might as well film this. So I'm filming this on Sunday night for Wednesday. I figured, well, I'm pulling her out to clean her. Might as well just do the video right now. But she was definitely ready to eat and hoping I was going to feed her. I will feed her probably this week. Because she is due to eat. But just a magnificent animal, really pretty. Definitely a great example of an Ultra Borneo shorttail. And an animal that I want to put into some projects. A lot of my Sideswipe stuff has Ultra floating around in it, and actually a lot of my collection in general does. There's a lot of Ultra in my Borneo collection. So I wanted a really, really nice example of an Ultra. So eventually I'll put her to some of my Sideswipe males, be it Orion or be it that really nice male with the gray stripe. I just have to decide how much I want to put that gray stripe in with the Ultra stuff. I kind of want to separate it and see where it goes. So Orion might be the one that gets her. Or it's possible I have that male from this year that maybe I'll wait and not even breed her next year and breed her the following season to that male. But he also has that gray trait, so that's kind of tough. I kind of backed myself into a corner there with a lot of the other males. So I think Orion will probably be the guy that gets her, at least for the first clutch I do with her. But we'll see. It remains to be seen. Where are you going? Do you have somewhere to be? She's an animal that I have not photographed nearly enough in her life. She's one where the lighting outside's got to be just perfect, but when it is, she's electric. And she doesn't, like, a lot of the ghost stuff and a lot of the blue ghosts and Ultras and stuff have to be like fired up to really look amazing. She looks amazing pretty much every time. So the lighting's not doing her justice, but she has like almost a green glow down her back. And then those real, like a slate gray kind of color down the side, which I know is not what it looks like on camera. And a lot of these big black spots are pretty common in this stuff. Hey, you're my beard. Obviously, she's a snake that I trust a tremendous amount. I've raised her from a teeny tiny baby. She's never given me any reason not to trust her. Like I said, she is very food responsive. So going into her cage, you could definitely get bit if you just reached in front of her face quickly. Especially she's one that likes to kind of crawl under her paper and just have her head sticking out, which is a pretty classic short tail move where they feel like their body's hidden, but they can see around them. I always talk about how they like to be hidden, but be able to see. Hidden in plain sight, if you will. So she's very classic in that regard. So that's typically where you find her. And once I do start feeding, she's one that you want to open her tub with a hook or something because you can't tell where she is in there, but she knows where you are. and she's so food motivated, she'll come hammering out and she'll go swing right down for your hand because she just smells the food, she knows it's coming, and feeding frozen thawed, you know, your hand is typically warmer than the prey item, so that's what she's going to cue in on when you're opening the tub. So I'll use a hook when I feed her just because she's so like, ah. She's got a very Sumatran short-tail like food response, which some Borneos do. But she's got a really great amount of striping, which will add, you know, nicely to whatever I breed her with, because most of my holdback males have nice striping. Striping is just one of those things that you just get enamored with and start mixing into everything, and eventually it gets so mixed in that like everything you throw starts to throw certain things. So ultras everywhere. Side swipes really common in my collection. Striping is really common in my collection. I have very few animals that don't at least have partial dorsal striping. I can't even, Lilith is very limited, but she does throw some striped babies. Right, my darling. But yeah, I like Borneos. They're my favorite to breed. Sumatrans are my favorite pet-wise. But I mean, this snake makes an absolutely fantastic pet. There's nothing that she does that would make her a poor pet. You know, other than the food response, I suppose, to somebody that's a little bit more nervous about dealing with that. But I find these snakes are pretty intelligent. So, you know, even if she's facing off like this, ready to strike for food, I'll just touch her somewhere on her body here, not in there, in that little hot zone there. You touch their neck, sometimes that'll trigger a food response. That's how oftentimes you'll get babies that don't want to eat is kind of pick at their neck with the food item, and it'll trigger them to turn and coil it. So you don't want to grab them there. But basically anywhere from where my hand is now to where my hand is now, in between there, that's where you can kind of touch their body and break that food response up. Now, I don't recommend doing that if you don't know the animal and don't know how to read when that food response shuts off. You know, you can use equipment if that's what you're more comfortable with. I use my hands with them. I know all my animals really well. So I can tell when they're not letting it go or when it's clicked off right away. You know, and there's a lot of different signs you can do to do that. But she's definitely a really, really cool snake. And I hope you guys enjoy seeing her. I'll try to get her on the channel more, just because she's so great. She is a little bit busy-bodied, as you can see throughout the course of this. She's been constantly moving. So as far as short tails go, she is a little more active in that regard, but obviously not overly so. And if we were just sitting on the couch watching TV or something, it would be much easier managed because I wouldn't be focused on trying to talk to you and do all this other stuff, lean back in my chair, not hit my head on the wood stove, you know, that kind of stuff. So once again, produced by Josh Ortiz, down at Herpetofauna by Josh Ortiz, although he produced her when he was in New Hampshire. But his ultras, that's where they come from. I don't know what he's making available from that clutch. I really haven't asked him because I'm tempted to buy something and I really can't afford to buy anything. But if he does have animals available for that and ultra is something that you like, I would jump on that in a heartbeat because this clutch looked even more fantastic than when she came out. Not that she's not perfect, because I have no complaints about this animal whatsoever. She's flawless. But those babies were fucking electric, so check them out. All right, guys, we'll see you. Don't forget, like, subscribe, check out the memberships. We're going to be doing some stuff probably, well, I'm saying next week now, but maybe later on this week when you watch this. I'm going to be doing some stuff on the membership pages where I'm pairing snakes and talking about pairing snakes and how I set them up, and you know, how I do it so that I feel comfortable pairing them, and then, you know, what I'm looking for in whatever pair that I set up. Chances are it's going to be blood pythons first, just because that's the female that I have that I think is in the best shape to start pairing. I do have a Borneo that'll be getting paired soon, and I'm currently food cycling my olive python female. She's getting hammered with food right now. And then I'm going to start backing off. She's actually in shed as we speak. So when she comes out of shed, I'm going to hammer her a couple more times with food quick. And then I'm going to start dropping her temp and setting her up to get paired. I'm going to really try to get olive pythons this year. The last couple years I haven't been able to cool the male enough, but I've got him in that new cage now. I have a little bit more control. She's already starting to naturally cycle because that room just gets colder that she's in. So even though I haven't really technically started cycling her yet, the temperature in her cage has already dropped a little bit ambient. So I'll just start dropping her hot spot for, you know, a certain number of hours a day and increase it to get it cooler and go from there. Same with the male. So stay tuned. Check out the memberships. There'll be a lot of stuff on there. I just really spent like 3 minutes on nothing. So let me get the hell out of here. Thanks, guys.